Hi there, my name is Gudrun from Gudrun Crochet and today I'm going to talk about my plans for knitting in 2026. So hi, welcome back to my channel. As I said, I'm Gudrun, I am a knitter from Belgium and I have been knitting since January of 2022. 2026 has just started and I have learned a lot of things in 2025 and I want to continue doing so. So I have a few plans and goals in mind of what I want to accomplish in 2026. I will be mentioning some patterns. I am not exactly sure that those are the exact patterns that I will follow, but they are just examples of things that I do want to make in the end. I will start out with my first big goal, which is I have a basket with yarn scraps pretty much, or like at least a skein of yarn, not like tiny bits. And it's becoming very full, it's piling out of there, and I want to use some of these scraps. Like some of these, like this Drops Charisma, for example, I made the storm sweater with this a few years ago, and then last year I also used it as a contrast color in one of my sweaters. Amazing, but I did not use all of it, and I want to get rid of as much of this yarn as possible. So one of my goals is to get rid of this amount and also of other amounts of yarn. I already started with something. This is it's looking bad right now, but it's actually, I'm wearing the clematis sweater by MS Knits, and this is the clematis sweater Chunky, which I am making with yarn that I frogged from a very old project that I didn't wear, and then with some lace weight merino that I did buy. So this is the frogged yarn and this is the lace weight merino, and I'm turning that into a sweater that I will hopefully wear because I did not wear the previous cardigan that I had crocheted. Actually it was crochet. So also already working on getting rid of some older yarn, and I would still need to get rid of this huge basket. I'm not sure what pattern I'm gonna use for that, since it's not like all in the same gauge and stuff. Now, the next thing that I want to do is, in 2025, my big goal was to learn how to do stranded colorwork. I ended up making 3 stranded colorwork projects, so I am very proud of that. And now this year I want to level it up a bit, and I want to make a steeked colorwork project, which it's scary to cut into your knitting. I think we can all agree about that, but I do really want to give it a try. And I think it's just a skill that if you're an advanced knitter, you know how to steek. So my computer here, let me get it. I am thinking about a specific pattern, which is the Arendal pullover by MJ Wilms on Ravelry. This sweater is gorgeous. I'm thinking a dark brown with then a light blue. I think that's gonna be gorgeous. One of the recommended yarn is cardigan, which I have never used before, so I want to try that. Last year, one of my goals was trying yarns that I hadn't tried before, and I want to continue doing that into the new year. So I do think I'm gonna use that cardigan yarn. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but whatever. So that, I do think I'm actually going to knit this specific sweater. I haven't seen an all over colorwork sweater that I like more than this one. So I don't think this is just an example. I will be making the Arendal pullover somewhere in 2026. Another goal that I have is I want to knit more cabled sweaters. I'm currently working on the Dagmar zipper sweater by Petite Knits, which is all over cabled, has different cables, and I'm just loving it, and I really love the look of cables. And before the Dagmar, I think I only had 2 cabled sweaters, one of which is extremely chunky, and I don't wear that much, and the other is the Moby, which I love wearing. So I want to add more cabled sweaters into my closet because I do have a lot of stockinettes, and I'm getting bored of that. I'm thinking about 2 sweaters here. First, the bike path sweater by Postcardknits, which is still a relatively simple sweater, just has cables on both sides, so it's not like too much. And then gorgeous heart chain sweater by from Mayo, which is a bit more of an intricate cabled sweater. It is on relatively thick needles, so it won't take too long. but it has a few types of cables that I haven't done before, so I think that would be very fun. And then also a sweater that is kind of in my cabled category and kind of in another category, which is that I want to try new constructions. I have done your basic drop shoulder, your raglan, whatever, but I found a cardigan, and I think everybody's gonna know this cardigan. It is the haraboji cardigan by Aegyoknit, which is a cabled cardigan, which starts at the cuff, goes like this, onto the other cuff. And I think that seems so much fun. I really want to try knitting that, see what the process feels like, and then in combination with like the fun cables and stuff, I think that would be a really, really fun project that I really want to give a try, because I'm getting sick of all of the same constructions that I haven't before. Now, another construction that I haven't knit that much, I have one sweater in this construction, is a round yoke. And I actually have a few projects that I might want to make with a round yoke. The first one is a peacock tee, which also fits into my get rid of yarn series, because I have a bit of unraveled yarn that I want to try and use for the peacock tee, but I will be playing yarn chicken anyways. But I do think it has a beautiful round yoke. Another round yoke sweater that I definitely want to make is the Forget Me Not jumper by Florence Miller. It has like a colorwork yoke, but it's still relatively simplistic. It's not like a classic vibe of a colorwork round yoke, so I do think that is very pretty. No idea what colors I would make it in, but I really do like the sample picture that she has, so I might do something similar. And then another one, I don't know if I'm actually gonna make it, is the Nocturnal jumper by Saskie&CO. Also round yoke colorwork sweater, but it's a bit more of a special one. It's like a Halloween one. I do have black cats, so I won't hesitate to wear something with black cats in other periods of the year, but I do think I would have to play with the colors a bit in order for this to not be like strictly a Halloween sweater. I want my sweaters to be able to wear them all year round. So I'm not entirely sure about that one, but I will knit a round yoke with colorwork on it, because I haven't done it before and it seems very fun. Now, my last thing that I want to try is felting. We have all seen the sailor slippers. They have been everywhere at the end of 2025. I think a lot of people got a sailor slipper under their Christmas tree. And I love the way they look. I think they're so pretty. However, I'm not the biggest slipper person. And I already have a pair of slippers that I don't wear that much because I just don't like wearing it. And I feel like adding in another pair of slippers would just be a hassle. I always also feel like they would get dirty. Wool picks up on dirt very easily. And if the bottom is just wool, felted wool, I feel like it's gonna get dirty all of the time. You're gonna have to wash it all of the time, depill it out all of the time, and then I won't wear it. And I've heard that the fit isn't that great. Anyways, that's beside the point. But I do want to felt something, and I think the easiest thing to felt would be a bag. I have looked through Ravelry, through the felted category of bags. Couldn't really find anything that was like, oh my god, that's exactly what I need. But I did find a bag in the non-felted category that I really, really like, which is the Archer Scrap Yarn bag by Neneedle. And it's just a garter stitch bag, very simple. I think it's kind of designed to work it with scrap yarn. I have some drops Nepal in various colors that I originally bought to make a cardigan with like every rectangle being a different stitch. But I've gotten tired of that, to be honest. And I don't have that much rectangles yet, so I'm actually thinking about just using that yarn to make a bag and then felting it, because I think you can felt drops Nepal. And then just making like a huge bag, which will then felt to like a good size, I hope. I hope. I would have to swatch for that. I would have to do all of the mat myself, because I wouldn't be following like a pattern for a felted bag. But I think that would be very fun. And the bonus with felting something is that it gives a lot of structure to your fabric, so you don't need lining per se. Whereas if you're just knitting it in garter stitch, if you're not putting in lining, it's gonna be like all lumpy bumpy if you put stuff in there. So that's why I'm thinking about felting it, and it just seems a lot of fun. I would have to ask my mom though if I can use a washing machine for that, because I don't want to ruin the washing machine with all of the Nepal fluff. But yeah, so that also fits into my whole thing of using old yarn, actually, because it's been laying under my bed for like 3 years. So that would be amazing if I finally use that yarn in a project that I will actually wear. Ugh, productive queen. Anyways, so these are my plans for 2026. It's a relatively short video. I don't want to make like 20 patterns that I'm gonna make and then only make like 5 of them. I think this is a relatively realistic goal of trying some different things, and I hope I can do all of them. We will see. But yeah, that was it. Let me know what your plans were. Let me know if you have any recommendations on patterns that I can make with my scrap yarns. Let me know what you guys are making, if any of the things that I mentioned is also something that you want to make. And most important thing, enjoy the new year of 2026. I hope you are very productive and happy in your knitting. And with that, happy New Year's and happy knitting. Bye!